Everybody, it is Sunday night at the training event. So glad to have you guys on there. Let's see who we got on here now. We got Miss Brewer as always. Mr. Clemens is holding down the fort. Miss Diane Collins from Miss Australia, Mr. Marin, Colleen. We got Jordan Say, Mr. Kelly, Miss Epperly, Miss Walker, Daryl Ransom. Man, we got a whole slew. Look at this. There's Harrison. Oh, Mr. Ed Navarro. And oh, that's Mrs. Walea. Morning, dear. Afternoon, huh? Bags. How you doing, boss? Mr. Gail Wagon. We got a whole slew of people. So good to have you. Mr. Ishmael is logging on now. Mr. TJ, good to have you. It is so good to have everybody on here, guys. And we're going to dive into part 2. If you didn't catch last week, go back and get caught up on that as far as how that went with just what we do, with everything that we have as far as our repertoire of what we can offer people. Now, with that being said, I'm going to pass it over to my better half. But first of all, guys, we got a phone call today. Actually, I'm sorry. I got a text last night. Can you hear my phone? So I want to read you what the text said. So this is why you stay committed. This is why you are committed, and you're who you are, that you say you are, you where you are when you say you're going to be someplace. And let me get this. So I received, and this is at 6:19 this morning, and it was basically that, hey, see if I can find that real quick. So, okay, I can't find it. No big deal. So what it says is, hey, this is so-and-so, and I want to check back into ACN, and are you guys still doing it? Right? Are you guys still doing it? So I text him. I'm like, man, I don't know who this guy is. So we had to look him up. When we saw him, it was like, oh my gosh, this is it. 2016, he got into business out of Philadelphia. We were back there on a international, weren't we? So here's what happened. So we contacted the guy whose team he was on, because he hasn't been active lately. He's in the business, but he hasn't been active. And asked him, hey, dude, do you remember so? Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, well, here it was. You know why I couldn't find it on a text message? Because it was my Facebook. He hit me up on Facebook. Okay, and he says, hey, Chris, I don't know if you remember. I used to work for ACN, but I fell off with it. Do you know how I could get started again? And he says, I already have an account, though. That's when wife and I had to look. Okay, who is this guy? We had to look him up, and sure enough, knew exactly who he was. So we make a phone call to the guy and ask him, hey, remember dude? He's like, yeah, I remember him. He wants back in. But now, if you're not going to be doing the business, you're kind of taking some time off. You know, life happens to us. If you're going to take time off, then we understand. But I want to put him somewhere where someone's going to, and he goes, no, I'll take him. So that one phone call, that one guy, this one text message on Facebook, right? Got 2 people going into business again. He is signing up tomorrow morning. We kind of went over some things with him, but staying committed. What's the word you used? Just staying committed. And she said something earlier. It was like, ooh, I like that. But it's staying committed and being where we were when we went, because we said we were going to be. When you hear us say, we've been through trials and tribulations. When you hear us say, we're going to help you get to where you want to go, we mean it. Because that means that's something, I don't know about the rest of you, but for me, when I say something, my word, that's my word. I don't want people looking back at me like, oh yeah, that's the dude, he just runs his mouth. He doesn't help you. That tells about who you truly are as a person. And that's huge to me. But for him to reach out to us and, yeah, we're still doing the business. Here's my number, call me. And now got one guy going again and another guy restarted. Committed, guys. So that was my story. It just was kind of cool. So now Oh, what's that?
They're committed, being committed.
And being committed now, because we first got on, Mr. Thomas told you a story about how we just didn't say anything. We just went for 100 points. Got there, and our whole team saw us walk stage for 100 points. You're like, and then Miss Evelyn Phipps was like, what the? I'm going to do that. And Mr. Thomas, you're going to do it. I'm going to do it. So we had like 5 different people get to 100 points just because of our action. Well, guys, today I can tell you, we're over 200 points. Didn't tell nobody, but we're there. We're just saying that not to impress you, but to say, guys, okay, who's going with us? Who else is going to get back on here? Hey, I'm at 200, Chris. Hey, I'm at 200. I want to see it. If you're already there, you beat me there. That's cool. But if you're not, we're here for you. Let's get you to 200 points. And we can, what day did we get to? The 15th? The 15th? So the 15th, we're going to see how much our check increased from 17 to 20. So now I get to bring up my wife, and she's going to finish off her training from last week.
All right, guys. So I don't remember if you remember when we did a training, we had talked about just getting customers. We were out there getting it, and we were determined to get 200. We weren't stopping it where we were at. And so we made our mind that we were going to hit the 200 and above. And so we want everybody to also do it as well. That's what it's a team effort. Okay, so I am going to share my screen. So I'm going to go through that document that we were going through yesterday and continue our training for services.
Last Sunday.
Last Sunday. Okay. It's last Sunday. Okay, so here we go. Let me see. All right, let me make this bigger for you. Okay, so we stopped at home phone, and I covered home phone. So now we're going to go into.
Can you see that, Ms. Collins?
Can you guys see this? My word. Okay, great. So now I'm going to go into Zoom Energy. Now, I know that not everybody may be in California, so I apologize. I'm going to focus on the service that's in California. For us, it's natural gas, which is SoCal, San Diego, and PG&E market. So, but the concept is very similar as far as going in there, getting the information just like I did, right? Okay, so in California, we online order. Be sure that the customer is not signed up with another third-party gas provider. So the best way to do that is to check their utility bill, because that happens a lot, believe it or not. Some people go door to door and get people signed up, okay? So you need, and if they do have another third-party gas provider or energy provider of any sort, they just need to call, and they usually can find that phone number on the last page where it has the information. It'll have the phone number at the top right-hand side. So all they have to do is call that 888 or 800 number, whatever it is that, and to basically find out if they're in a contract, and get out of it. I had somebody do that where they got out of their contract, and then we signed them up for Zoom, okay? So you need the customer's zip code to determine availability. Obviously, that's gonna tell what market they're in. Make sure the customer fills out the information that matches exactly to their utility bill through the Zoom sign-up process. So literally not just of course, the meter number or gas or whatever, if it's electricity, all that, that all has to match up, but including the name. So make sure that it matches up. So if it's like, say for example, it says Ed in his last name, but he signs up Edward, that could cause a problem. So make sure it matches up exactly, okay? You don't want any delay, okay? So if you don't have a bill, you can actually go to pgne.com and register to get online to access info, or can call customer service during normal business hours. I've called PG&E over and over and over with my customer to get their meter number and their gas service ID number and count number with the customer, so that way it got done right away versus, oh, I'll get back to you later when you get a PG&E bill, right? So you just do things quickly, okay? You can find the current PG&E gas rate at Rate Finder. So there's actually this link here and this link right here. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see it, but basically it gives you where the current rate is. And I'm thinking perhaps in your utility market, you might be able to find that. So have a shortcut to where, because sometimes your PG&E bill or your utility market bill is not current. It might be last month's. So if you want to see what the current rate is, you usually can find the current utility market's going rate. You just have to look it up on the internet. So I actually have the link that shows, so I can check the current for September, even though I might still have an August bill, okay? Make customers aware there is a soft credit check done, just the last 4 SSN and date of birth during sign-up process done for their protection. Okay, it used to be all the full SSN, and now they modified it just to the last 4 of the SSN. So when people get leery about that, I say, hey, this is for your protection to make sure that no one is doing this without your authorization, okay? So, and then here's some of the various plans that we have. Obviously, depending on your marketplace, it's going to offer different things. For us in California, for PG&E markets, we have multiple. We have a Simple Flex, which is the 12-month. It's a month-to-month, no commitment. You have a 2-month intro rate, and then after that, it goes to it's going to go based on supply and demand. Okay, so it'll jump up and down, similar to what the local utility market does. So I tell people after the promo period, let's lock you in. Okay, because then what's going to happen, usually I find the variable rate actually jumps up more than what the utility market offers. Okay, so we want to lock them in after that promo rate. So even if you guys have something in your marketplace for a promo, usually it's going to be more. But again, the goal when they lock in, I tell people the goal of Zoom is to provide a savings long term. Okay, so if you're in a 12-month or 24-month commitment, they're looking at, it's the average. So 1 month you may pay more, however, the next month you pay less, but the goal is the average of it is to provide overall a savings. Okay, that is the goal. Okay, so that's the best way to explain it when people say, well, how do I talk about that? Because it's not always guaranteed savings. We don't know. It's just, unfortunately, we never know what the rate's going to be. They did away with that Walmart $25 e-card, online card. That went away. That expired the end of last month. So now we have the different Zoom Energy Rewards. So this is really, really cool. I don't know if anybody's looked at this before, the Zoom Energy Rewards, but let me see if I can go in this and you guys can see some of the different promos you get with this. So can you guys still see my screen right now? Okay, so see right here, this is what you get. And so you log in and you tell your customer about this. So all you need is your phone number, and it's going to be the phone number on their account and then their zip code. So let me go and just show you what it looks like and what they get, all the different cool things they get.
Can't see him, Ms. Collins.
Okay, let me do this. Stop sharing, and then I'm going to share. Again, share screen.
Just go share. Just down bottom right. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but sometimes it doesn't.
No, just,
Can you see my screen now? Okay, good. Okay, so this is the Zoom.
Thank you.
Zoom Energy Reward screen, and this is what you get. So like right now I have $1,528 to use. I get 100, so your customers be getting $100 per month. Okay, so they get all these different things. They get daily cards, what they're going to automatically can win. They show all these different giveaways, dining, online shopping, where if you buy something, you get it like $10 or $20, $15 off with your dollars. And then even what's really cool is they have coupons for shopping. People like coupons because you can get some really good coupons. And then gift cards, you can get at a discounted rate. Printable grocery coupons. So this is really, really cool for all your customers. So the more you utilize it yourself, the easier it's going to be for you to share that with them, right? So you once, just like same thing with Zoom, once you have Vivit, for example, you could show people your camera, right? You show them your doorbell camera and all that. Same thing with this. Once you have this and you've used it, you use some of the coupons and all that stuff, you can start talking about. So I'm going to share again, stop sharing and then share again. With go back to my Word doc. All right, so here we are. So back here, another great one. These are just all the plans. You guys, these are all, just so you know, there is usually monthly fees, not everywhere. I know in California there is. I know other marketplaces I have seen, there is no monthly fees. So for us, we usually have either $2.99 or when you're dealing with the eco, that's usually $6.99, and the reason why is because it's 100% carbon free. It's the goal is they plant trees, it's energy efficient, it's good for the environment, so it's more pricey. Okay, so I don't usually recommend that plan unless somebody's all about going green. And I have had customers that actually are all about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And they're check the cost recovery, because there's some where if there's no cost recovery, that usually means there's no contract. But if there is a cost recovery fee associated, that means that there is basically a termination fee for a customer if they decide they want to get out of it. Okay. There's also Zoom Extras. I don't know if anybody is familiar with the Zoom Extras, but that is also another program that you can utilize too. So let me go and share my screen with that, the Zoom Extras, and show you what that looks like. I'm gonna stop and then share again. Okay, so let me go into Zoom Extras. Extras. Okay, so Zoom Extras right here, this is what it looks like. So you just go there, get started, and you get these, like I have 13,000, how do you say that? Kion, whatever, like basically like dollars to use. And so basically you can do discounts on insurance, restaurant deals, all this different stuff as well too. So this is another program that you can register for, okay? So again, there's 2 different programs through Zoom that you can have your customers as well as yourself see if you qualify for and take advantage of all these different fun things to shop for and discounts and incentives, okay? So let me do this. Now, I know for me, I had lost my password and all that stuff. So if there's problems setting yourself up, you can reach out via email to contact us at zoomextras.com, okay? So they actually, I forgot, I think it had been so long, I forgot my username and password, and they helped me retrieve that, okay? So if you have problems setting yourself up, you just reach out to them and they can help you do that, okay? You can change plan from variable to lock in from zoomenergy.com page under account at top of right page, okay? So there's an option at the very top. If somebody's on the month to month and they want to lock in, which you want to after 2 months when it jumps up, you want to lock them in the 12 or 24 month, you go to the account at the top of the right. It's going to be under my account overview, and I should probably share that with you, but my account overview, and then all you just need is the service agreement ID and the meter number and email. That's it. Okay, so that right there is pretty simple. It's just under my account overview, and that's where you don't have to call. You just literally go in there and you can lock them in, choose whatever plan you want to lock them in after the variable rate ends, that promo. Okay, now to terminate service, you would just call either, or you can send an email. So the number is 888-997-8979. So it's 888-997-8979. That's to cancel, or you can send an email to customercare@zoomenergy.com, okay? Now, to claim a missing energy, you will need the account or the order number, okay? At the end of a lock-in agreement for a customer, some people ask that, well, what happens after the 12 months? What happens? They will default, they'll get an email prior to their 12-month period or 24-month, whatever they locked in. And if they don't reply, the company's just going to default them to the month-to-month arrangement, okay? So they will keep being your customer, which is awesome. You don't lose them as a customer if they don't lock in for another 12 or 24 months, okay? So for IBOs, we have the get 12 Zoom Energy residential accounts and get a bonus equal to the average commodity charges of your customer's bill. So everybody should be going after that to get an additional bonus of the average of all that. Okay, and then for Zoom business, if it's less than a year old, more than likely a deposit is going to be required. That's what we find in our marketplace anyway. I don't know if it's all that way. And the reason why is because there's probably going to be, there's a high percentage statistically that business may not survive, unfortunately. So Zoom will buy the gas and then they have to absorb that cost if that business closed down. Okay, so that's how I explain it. Okay. And then you get paid residuals for the life of the customer. So this is another lifer as far as a service that you want to capitalize on. Okay. Now let's talk about Vivit. So you must call to order, okay? For home, it's 877. Everybody should have this on their cell phones, right? Saved already. For home, it's 877-479-1668. And for business, Okay, it is subject to credit approval, so I let my customer know because they are going to be getting expensive equipment sent to them. I always ask them in advance, how many ports of entry do you have as far as doors and windows? They always need to ask that, so they're going to ask that anyways, but I want to make them aware already, so they've already thought it, they have the information already in front of them before they make the phone call. Okay, there is a $39 activation fee that applies, so they will pay that that at that time, okay, or be charged that. And they must own the home or have approval from manager to install. Okay, I've had people that live in apartments that got approval from their managers to get Vivit, so they can don't let that stop you if they live in an apartment. Okay, and they need a valid credit card. Okay. The service only starts at $39.99 to $49.99 a month. That is basically without hardware. That's just to monitor. Okay, so $39 is just to monitor the home with no cameras. $49.99 is usually what they monitor once you paid all the hardware off. Okay, because obviously people are paying more because they have that fee plus the hardware that they divide up into, maybe 5 years. Okay, so it's usually a 42 to 60 month agreement for hardware, and then once the hardware is paid off, you're no longer in contract and hardware is yours. So you take that hardware. I tell customers, take it with you because you paid for it. Okay, so they can take that with them. Now, if somebody doesn't like the idea of being in contract, I told people, hey, you can pay it off sooner. The sooner you pay off the hardware, you are no longer in contract, because some people don't like the idea of being in contract. Pay it off, and then you're good to leave, take it, whatever you want, but that is your hardware. And I will tell you, not all home security providers do that. One of our home security providers we had prior to Vivit, they wanted their equipment back, and we had them for like 7 years.
It was a siren. It was only the siren.
Yeah, but they wanted their stuff back. It was outdated, but yet they expected their equipment back.
Charge us full price.
They try to charge us full price for it. So, but Vivit is amazing because they let you own it. Okay. Packages are customized to the customer. If price is an issue, make that clear with the representative at the beginning of the call. So I've had somebody say, that, hey, I can only afford, I want it, but I can afford this dollar amount. I said, okay, let's make this clear with the representative at the very onset of the call. So I tell them, hey, you know what? This person is right now financially in a situation, wants a service. However, they can only afford maybe $70 a month. Okay. What can you do? Because unfortunately, the way that Vivit works, their goal, because they're all about the best for the customer. They're not looking at price. They're looking at what they could use, right? So sometimes it ends up being like $100 or more a month. They're like, what? So it's better to, prep them, that representative, so this way they have an idea in their mind what, don't upsell them because it might scare them away. I've lost a customer that way as well, by upselling them, okay? So check the latest promotion available right now until tomorrow. I know they have the Get the Doorbell free as long as you have a camera right now that's going on that will expire tomorrow probably by midnight. So, and then cameras, something I tell people, cameras are military encrypted. So people who have like the Ring, is it the Ring? The Ring and these other things they buy at Costco and all that and stuff. I tell people those are not military encrypted, meaning somebody can go in, and I tell them, did you hear the story about the Ring, how somebody was actually watching on the camera, the camera in the room? Because that was a true life story that happened because they tapped into the cameras. So I tell people this is something that's very possible if it's not military encrypted, and ours is, okay? So, and you get paid residuals for the life of the customer. So this is another one right now, and it's 10 points this month, 10 points. So like our goal right now, we're trying to get 5 right now. Five. For this month. We're trying to get 5 Vivint accounts. So, and then now let's talk about wireless. Okay, so AT&T wireless online, but you may have to speak with an analyst, and that number, they usually give you the analyst number, which is going to be the 855-546-2306. System will tell you and must provide dealer code YO or 0OQF and reference number provided on screen. Okay, so it will tell you what to provide as well as that reference number when you call the customer service. Okay, credit check does apply. Okay, Single, family, and add-ons are basically, it's new customers. In order for us to get credit, it has to be a new customer. So somebody's already an existing AT&T customer and they just say, oh, I'll go through you again, you won't get credit for it, okay? So it has to be new. There is a $30 activation fee per line. Did you find out how Cameron how to waive that?
No, he didn't.
Okay, so I will tell you though, we had an IBO that actually waived, they will get billed the $30 their first billing, okay? There is a way to waive that. And what he did, he just called. He called AT&T customer service and told them he was a new customer and if there was any way he can get that $30 activation waived, and they waived it. So there is a way to get that.
It's been done.
Done, yeah, get that to make it go away for your customer, okay? And then there is a $10 credit for paperless billing, applies per line and starts on your second billing cycle. New hardware options or can bring over an existing phone. You do need to check the availability on that, okay? And customers cannot pick up SIM cards or devices at store or you will lose this customer. We did this. We actually, the sad thing was that person had to call the analyst, right? So they called the analyst and they didn't have the hardware available, but they said, oh, it's available in the store. You might want to check the store. Well, guess what? It was in the store. So they went and got the hardware at the store and we lost that customer. Okay, so don't have your customer go into the store to get a SIM card or to get the device. Yeah, it was new, so it was when they just launched. So yeah, so we don't want them to go into the store. ACN will mail out SIM card in 1 to 3 business days. Okay, they will do that. And the Next Up program, it's a cool program. It allows the customers to upgrade their device. They charge an extra $5 a month and at least 50% device has to be paid off. Now, here's the thing. We get compensated for new customers, so not on device purchases, so we don't get credit for the Next Up program, okay? So if somebody chooses that program, unfortunately, we won't get that unless it's a new customer, but when they get the next device or whatever, we will lose them, okay? We will lose them. So bring your own device with non-ported numbers do not count towards IBO compensation, okay? So does that basically, they have to have a number they're carrying over, okay? So if they want basically a phone number, a new number, and they have a phone, they can do it, but guess what? We don't get credit for those, okay? So it has to be already an existing number that they're carrying over to AT&T for us to get credit. AT&T will send a number transfer request to customer's wireless provider and wait for confirmation to transfer number. Once confirmed, AT&T phone will be shipped. Old phone will continue to work until they receive and activate their new AT&T phone. So they won't lose service. They shouldn't lose service, okay, until they get their new device and they activate it. We will not get credit for any carrier that is AT&T coverage. For example, Cricket. Cricket is, even though it's a third party, they use AT&T network. So that is not, we don't get credit for those kind of, so basically any type of that you can think of that maybe you're like, I've never heard of this provider before, let me look them up, because you can usually find out who they use their coverage from, and if it's AT&T, we will not get credit for it, okay? Because that's considered AT&T already. AT&T customer service, you might want to put this in your speed dial, put that on your phone, it's 800-331-0500. That is the AT&T customer service number if anybody has any problems or needs to call. Residuals will be paid for 30 months, okay? So that's cool. We get paid for 30 months, but then after that, then again, they're considered a existing customer. So now let's talk about Flash Wireless. Online order, no credit or contract required on these ones, which is really cool. Use pre-check. Now, I hope everybody knows there's a pre-order checklist in the back office. So,
get all of the.
I'll show you what it looks like. But actually, I may share my screen to show you what it looks like. But basically, it's in your back office. So this is kind of what it looks like. I don't know if you guys can see, but in your back office, it has one for the green and the yellow network. So make sure when you get a Flash Wireless customer, you fill this out in advance. That way you have all the information in front of you, okay? So green is Verizon, Obviously, if somebody's looking for unlimited data, you're not going to probably want to go green because we only go up to 6 gigabytes at $54. So it's for somebody who doesn't use as much gigabytes. But if somebody wants unlimited, then we would go yellow Sprint, and that one has unlimited plans starting at $50, okay? And then we also have family plans with Sprint. Now, keep in mind, I know people say, well, why don't we offer it? I will tell you, ACN has always done what's been in the best interest of first the customer, the IBO, and then the company. So at one point, yes, we did have unlimited green Verizon, but they took it away because the prices became more than what it should have been, okay? So that's why they took that one plan away. From Verizon to Flash Verizon, there is going to be an extra process required now that took effect, I believe, in June. So a number transfer PIN will be required. Okay, so if somebody's going from Verizon and they want to go to Flash Verizon, this extra step applies. Okay, so from active device, the account owner dials the #7678. The customer will receive an SMS after authentication and qualification with the link to click to create the PIN. So there's basically 2 pins. They have the normal PIN that they call when they call customer service and they ask, what's your PIN number to access your account? Then there's going to be a new PIN they're creating during this process they're going to use for the transfer, okay? So customers should log into My Verizon account and select the number transfer PIN option from the My Profile page. And it says, follow the steps on screen to create the number transfer PIN. And then, or the Verizon app from the account settings manager, select number, transfer PIN, and follow the steps to create PIN. It's actually pretty simple. As soon as they do it, they'll get a notification. The customer gets a notification to go into their My Verizon and get that PIN. If problems can contact Verizon customer service at 611. Okay, and then hotspots available, 10 gigabyte. This is the only one. 10 gigabytes are available, and that's going to be probably for just the Sprint now. I think it is just Sprint now is what you get. Now, we still have it because we had the grandfathered plan. No. Yeah, so that's why we still have the hotspots. But for new customers, it's only going to be for Verizon. The hotspots will be available 10 gigabytes. And there's a $7 data boost available. What that means, the data boost means, is if you go over your gigabytes. Or if, for example, someone does 411. So somebody uses their cell phone, 411 is not free for information, right? That's when the data boost kicks in, okay? International call, like things like that, things that are not on their normal plan, okay? And normally when you sign up for a customer, it's always defaulted to off. So you actually have to turn that data boost on for it to automatically charge you, okay? Unlimited plans, 22 gigabytes per line, then slows down to as low as 128 kbps, okay? So I tell people it's not really truly unlimited, right? And all of them are that way, unless like AT&T has one that's 100, which is a lot. So wireless app available. I would recommend everybody to have if you have a Flash, download the Flash wireless app on your phone. Why? Because you're going to be able to monitor location of device. You also have transfer content set up. This is for new people when they're transferring and so forth. They can keep all their information, their contacts, if they're going from one phone to another phone, and they get cloud storage. You have to turn that on though. And then you also get access to Wi-Fi hotspots. You do have to turn that on as well. So this way, if somebody doesn't want to use, maybe they're using too much data, you can say, hey, download this Flash wireless app because it'll automatically search for hotspots in their area, okay? So this may actually not be using as much of their data on their phone because they have this Flash wireless and they have the app on, okay? So you will need to set up voicemail once transferred. So it's like brand new account. So people who, just so you know, if somebody has voicemails and stuff, they will lose that. They will lose their previous voicemails, okay? So sometimes people think, well, from Verizon to Verizon, it stays the same. It actually doesn't. They lose their information. So it will be like a new account, okay? So they have to set that up. See Flash Wireless YouTube channel for great info. There's some great info on that. And then remember, refer 5 people besides yourself or customer and you get service for free, excluding taxes, of course. which is awesome. So you have the ability to get that for your customers as well. And residuals are going to be paid for the life of the customer. And I already got that YouTube training right here. So, and that is it. I think we got everything. We got all the services, not all the services, but we got for residential services. I try to cover all of residential services for you guys. So I know that's a lot of information, but really I will tell you, let me share with you. I'm going to tell you where I got a lot of my information. And this is, you may know already, but I'm going to show you again, just in case. All right. So from your storefront, we all have a storefront right here. Frequently asked questions. See at the very top? Right there, frequently asked questions gives you, you click on that, you can find almost anything and everything on every service from here. Okay, just go in there, and I went here and I was like, oh my gosh, I got so much, and it may direct you back to the website and other stuff. It directs you to other areas, but it covers every service, all the specifics, everything you may want to need to know about the service. Okay. So with that being said, we're done, but we'll open it for just a few questions. I know we're past our time, but does anybody have any questions? Let's see if we have any questions here.
Let's see.
If you do, go ahead and type your questions, and we'll cover just a few. Let me see.
Right here. Okay, is the Wi-Fi hotspot for both?
Oh, just Sprint.
Or just Sprint?
Just Sprint now. Yeah, unless it was grandfathered in prior to the change, but yeah, just Sprint. All right, any other questions? Are we good? You guys are experts on services now? Go get 200 customer points.
Oh, look, Marv, big thumbs up. Marv's got training next week.
Woohoo, Marv, 200. Well, Marv, you 200, okay?
Okay, does it have to be unlocked phones for Flash?
Okay, so for Flash, you have to check availability. Go to, you know how to go, right? Basically, if you go to Flash Wireless, you can check compatibility of the device. That's how you know. So what happens if, say, for instance, if it's Sprint to Sprint Flash, it does have to be unlocked, okay? So what you do is I have them call Sprint customer service and tell them they want their phone unlocked. It takes about 48 hours, so about 2 to 3 days, depending, for them to unlock, and they should be getting an email. Sometimes they take their time because usually when they unlock their phone, they know they're leaving. They're going to a different carrier, right?
They'll try and tell you to come into the store.
Yeah, sometimes they do. So obviously from Sprint, yes, you do. So check, even if you checked in your, if you go into Flash Wireless, you check compatibility, it'll tell you it's not. It still needs to be unlocked. So it will tell you that. But basically, Verizon to Verizon, you do not have to unlock it. Again, but you still need to check. Just because I'm saying this, you still need to go check. So Verizon to Verizon, you don't. Obviously, if it's a certain type of iPhones, certain levels of phones, if they're, what are they, universal, or they're, what do you call them? You know which one I'm talking about. They're called a certain thing where basically they're compatible with all networks, So, but most cases, it does still, like T-Mobile, iPhone, maybe to say Verizon, they may have to unlock it still. It may be compatible, but they still have to lock it with their current provider, okay? So they do still need to check that. And so, but again, the system will tell you whether it's compatible, but that it's still locked and it needs to be unlocked. There's a problem, okay? So, Wi-Fi apps under, is it?
Hybrid. Hybrid,
that's what it's called, hybrid. Yeah, so hybrid means it can go to any provider. Apps under Flash, which should be on our app store for each. Okay, yeah, so.
Or Droid.
It's on both. It's on both. The Flash Wireless is on both. The app, it's on Androids and the iPhones. It's compatible for, you can download it on both.
Lisa, any new phones recommended for customers? Okay, Lisa, I just purchased for my backup Batman phone. My old one died. I just purchased an iPhone 6S. I think it was from Cell Platinum, cellplatinum.com.
Cell Platinum's a good one we use, and they usually are at the conventions, ACN conventions. Because they send SIM cards too. Okay, so they work with ACN.
Is that right? Can't say.
Cell Platinum. He's putting
Cellplatinum.com. I just put it in the notes.
Yeah, so that's a good one. I think there is another one but I like this one the best because we've never had any problems. And even too, if it's been, usually it's 30 days. If there's any problems, they'll take the phone back. We were over 30 days at one point, and we showed that we had just activated it, even though it had been 30 days, and they took it back with no problems,
It's a
no
brand
questions.
new iPhone too.
Yeah, no questions asked. So they're really good. That's why I like them.
But it was, I think for the i6s was 184, and I got a little case with it too. You know, without the case, thing was 179.
Yes, absolutely. 3G, Janny, 3G and 4 phones may not work. Be mindful, FYI. Yeah,
That's true.
they're gonna push us to the newer devices and all that stuff.
Yeah. They'll slowly phase, like they slowly phased out the iPhone 4s. A lot of people were keeping for backups.
Yeah,
They'll slowly, like Miss Lynn says there, they're going to slowly start fading the old generations out. Force you to get that new phone.
Yeah.
A $1,500 phone.
So, all right, guys. Well, you guys have a great evening. Like I said, I want to hear about 200-point champions. I want to hear more 200 points.
Yep.
Yeah, we got to make Mr. Thomas proud, right?
Don't tell him. Don't tell him. Go get it. Just watch them all start
he's
popping
gonna
up.
He's going to see all his team's names on there for 200 points promotion.
Shh, don't say nothing. Just go get it.
Yeah.
Let him start popping up like, what's going on?
All right, guys. Well, you guys have a great evening. Thank you so much. Okay.
God bless, guys.
Bye.